What's going on, fellow A-plussers? It's your boy Adam Perez. We're back once again with a brand new video for you guys today, as we got a little bit of a reaction set up for you guys. We got a Kraven Hunter. We got a movie that's going to be dropping December 13th from Sony Pictures. They actually went ahead and released a brand new featurette here this week, maybe a couple days ago, called Making the Villain. It's only about 2 minutes long, but I thought it was worth checking out. You guys know how I feel when it comes to Sony Pictures in regards to their solo individual films for their Spider-Man characters in their universe. You know, I will say I've come to appreciate the very first Venom film after the two sequels that we've gotten, 2 and 3. I know Venom 3 is actually doing pretty good at the box office, really getting a lot of help internationally at the box office. So, look, people love themselves some Venom franchise. And for those of you who have enjoyed it, kudos to you guys. I personally just enjoyed really the final act of Venom 3. It had some hits or misses throughout the film for me personally, but when it comes to Sony Picture films, I just don't get excited for them, unfortunately, especially after the debacle that was Morbius and Madam Web. Just really left a bad taste in my mouth. But I do want them to succeed. I do have hopes that movies like Kraven the Hunter certainly do well, and so we continue to talk about them. We continue to hopefully root for them and hopefully have some successful films. And they've got another opportunity here come December 13th with Kraven the Hunter, which is going to be rated R. I do like the timing of it in the sense of being sort of opposite programming for sort of the holiday season. And we'll see if that benefits them. I am coming around to appreciating Aaron Taylor Johnson as well, who's going to be playing Kraven in this movie, especially after seeing him in Bullet Train, most recently in the past couple of years, and then again in The Fall Guy. So we'll see how this movie comes out. But I want to go ahead and do a little bit of a dive into this and see what this featurette is talking about. I'm going to go ahead and bring this up here. We got Aaron Taylor Johnson right here. Again, it's only coming in about 2 minutes, but let's see how they're gonna get us hyped for this movie. Let's go ahead and check this out.
Kraven the Hunter is a story. Kraven the Hunter is a story of the making of a villain.
My son, they are prey. We are predators.
So this is a standalone movie. This is Sergei Kravenov becoming Kraven.
It is a family saga.
You are exactly like our father.
You don't get to do that to me anymore.
But it is also a good old-fashioned gangster story.
This is not about money. This is about power.
You know, I will say, based off of just who his family is, there's a gentleman in here that talks about their father. For those of you who don't know, Kraven's brother, if I'm not mistaken, actually the Chameleon. So this is the Chameleon, aka whatever his real name certainly is in here as well. But I am fascinated by what Aaron Taylor Johnson said here. This is the origin stories of Kraven becoming a villain or something along those lines. You know, I'm kind of used to them trying to make a villain into a good guy. So I am kind of curious if this is still going to be sort of like that anti-hero, or if he's truly going to embrace things. Like, is he truly going to be a villain, like a bad guy per se, taking out other bad guys? Like, despite who he kills, like, is he not still gonna, like, is he not gonna be the, well, technically I'm assuming he's the hero and the protagonist sort of this story, maybe doing things in a very antagonist sort of way. But I am fascinated to see by the end of this film, what is his status, right? Like, is he gonna be clearly he's not gonna be a goody two-shoe, or like, you know, all of a sudden become this really decent human being. So I am kind of curious to see how Sony tackles somebody like Kraven in regards to where they leave him off at the end of this tale. But I dig the idea of it being sort of like a mob here as well.
About money. This is about power.
JC truly does deliver a raw, gritty, real world movie.
We actually use real locations outside in the weather.
I'm so lucky I get to do the stunts. Old school, real, raw, barefoot, running through the streets of London,
Nice.
doing flips
Okay.
and running off the wall, because he
Ooh.
needed to have that kind of authenticity.
Yeah.
An assassin who uses methods of the animals.
There was some element of bloodlust that he seemed to love.
There's 6 of us, and only 1 of you.
There was a justification for it,
There's 6 of you now.
and that feels good. But he is also this very inconsistent, ethically compromised individual.
Embrace who you
Yeah, you can say that again.
But yet, still, you're rooting for him.
Once you're on his list, there's only one way off.
Where's Mr. Tagley?
You're standing in him, just ticking the boxes off the list. What have we got next? Okay, Chorney, we'll go for him. Where is
Okay.
he? In a prison, sure, no problem.
The choice to make an R-rated film allowed me to be far more honest about that journey.
He's not a superhero. He's a man who's been trained and is skilled hunter and killer.
Okay. All right.
Kraven the
All
Hunter.
right.
Rated R.
Look, I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm gonna be honest. This is one of the first times that outside of the trailers, which I think all the trailers have looked really good and have definitely being able to hear them talk a little bit more about how they want to tackle this movie and this character does make me a little bit more excited for this film. I truly do. Like JC Chandler, the guy that's going to be directing this, I appreciate what Aaron had to say in the sense of we are going to get to sort of like that grittiness of it all. That they're allowing him to not necessarily be stuck in like this CGI green screen world that, they've got him running down the blocks in bare feet. They've got him doing a lot of his own kind of stunts and being physical and things like that. And there is a level of authenticity that's usually brought to the films when you do get to see these characters in these real environments. I love when films are set or like, filmed on location. I think it just adds a lot of depth and realism to them, to be quite frank with you. But I think JC's directing style is truly going to go ahead and help elevate this movie, to be quite frank with you. And just some of the rawness that I've been able to see, and it feels like they are allowing Kraven to be just unapologetically him, right? Like they're not trying to change this character from what he is into something else. And I think for me personally, that's where Venom kind of lost me. Like when you're doing club scenes and dance sequences with the Venom symbiote, like you lose me. And maybe that's me having like my own expectations set on Venom growing up in the comic books, of seeing him being this raw villain attached to Eddie Brock that becomes like this huge bully, if you will. And they just really flipped him on the dime in that sense of giving us a Venom in completely new light. And maybe that works for somebody, but like for me, I'm glad that they're allowing Kraven to be unapologetically him. There is something I do think that the director can bring vision wise to sort of keeping this grounded. Now for me, I always believe story at the end of the day. And looking at some of the writing credits on here, I see about 3 people that are named in the writing credits. The one person I'm not necessarily worried about when it comes to having put this story and screenplay together is the writer Richard Wenk. When you go back and you look at some of his films that he's worked on, I mean, he's handled all 3 Equalizer films with Denzel Washington. He's also did the Jack Reacher movie, The Magnificent Seven, Expendables 2, The Mechanic. And while some of these films won't blow you away, I do think that they're solid movies that understand what it is that they want to be and can deliver storyline wise. My worry and concern come from both Art Markham and Matt Holloway, who also contribute to this script, that when you look at it and you look at what they've both worked on together, Transformers: The Last Night, Punisher: Warzone, Men in Black International, Uncharted, which I didn't mind Uncharted. I do think it could have been better. It was a little bit of a weaker film, but I didn't mind Uncharted. But they have some questionable writing credentials. And so there is a part of me that's hoping that Richard Wenk's story and what he's trying to go for really pushes through through some of the weaker writing in here. So I do believe that this has potential of being a good movie, and one that I can walk away from saying, you know what, I appreciate the not like pulling no punches when it comes to Kraven, and the fact that they get the opportunity to play in this rated R world, I think will do nothing but benefit this particular character. And I do think Aaron Taylor Johnson in his own right is capable of pulling this off. I kind of dig that idea. If he's got a checklist and he's putting himself in these situations in order to get to the people that he certainly needs to. Again, I just hope that the writing is there to certainly execute it. But, you know, coming in at 2 minutes for this reaction, for this particular video, I think they did a good job of at least laying the foundations of what this movie is certainly supposed to be. But look, guys, I want to know your thoughts. What's your level of anticipation when it comes to Kraven the Hunter? Are you holding back your expectations, kind of going into this movie with low expectations, hoping that the movie certainly overperforms? Or are you over the moon for this opportunity for Kraven the Hunter to be brought to the big screen? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section box below. We'll definitely see you this upcoming Sunday as we have our live episode of APlus Hero Report. But until then, do us a big favor. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and keep it APlus. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.